Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to this series 2.0 of therapists and healers. I think we'll wait for a short while so that the other viewers and visitors join us. Yes, I think we have one viewer. So kindly let us know, am I audible there clearly? Are we both visible over there? You can type in the comment section. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, welcome to the series 2.0 on Skillgate Skill Connect group, where we are taking interviews of different entrepreneurs. Our today's uh, the topic of 2.0 series is for healers and therapists. In these times of COVID, where the earth is healing itself, the earth has lost its integrity. Everybody is worried about their own immunity. So we thought, the Skillgate team, thought of why not to bring on some therapists and healers for all of you, so that we value add to the society as well as to all of you. And for this, the starting point of this session for the healers and therapists, we have a beautiful, wonderful, very soft voiced Dr. Smita Sovani with us. Dr. Smita Sovani is a PhD and she's a stress management expert. Also, Smita Sovani is not only restricted to the national level, but she has gone international. Yes, she has conducted a lot of programs in the prestigious conferences in US. So I welcome you, Dr. Smita Sovani, ma'am, with us.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be
Um,
on this stage today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And thank you, Shruti Patore. Thank you, Shweta. And thank you, Dr. Mitali. Thank you for your lovely comments. So, Dr. Smita Sovani is going to talk about this Nad Yoga and Nad Yoga also. So, I think, Dr. Smita, please give us a lot of brief about your own self first.
Right. Prachiti, am I audible properly?
Yes, yes, you're
Yes.
audible, ma'am.
Yes. So I'm Dr. Smita Sovani. I'm a PhD from our own Pune University, a certified stress management professional. And I was working as a full time faculty for 18 years and I was teaching MBA students. However, while doing my full time teaching career, I always used to think that there is something to add to all this that we are doing, and I was not able to exactly find out what is that. Something was missing, something was lacking, and I thought I can add some value to all this. And by 2010 or so, I myself fell sick, and it took a little time for the doctors to find out what has actually happened. And while I was taking a regular treatment from allopathic doctors, I thought perhaps this is something which I was looking for, because here now I can learn something new. I was already a Reiki healer, so I started with using Reiki on myself, and then how I can heal myself, how I can add to this. And then I remembered I had learned something called as Nad Yoga. When I was completing my Sangeet Visharad, there was some mention of Samveda and music therapy. And then I thought perhaps to add to this Reiki, why not start with music therapy on my own self? And that was my starting point. And of course, music healed me a lot. I learned a lot, and I found a guru also, and I found a guru from the Himalayan tradition, some ancient techniques which are not there in books or which are not taught in music class. I could get to learn from him.
Yes, ma'am, this you told us about your starting point, your triggering point, like how in your life you felt that. something different from the routine allopathic practices and the routine medicine science which is there. So you got that triggering where you felt something new should be learned. But we
Right.
also would like to know your introduction, ma'am, because our audience is new to all of us. So you have done your PhD. So before that, what all you have studied, and since how long you are working in this field, and presently where you
Okay.
are connected.
Okay. I'm practicing independently right now. And before that, I was working as a full time MBA faculty. I was teaching different subjects like emotional intelligence, and my second area of expertise is finance. And before that, I was working with industry. I worked with two different companies, and I completed my MBA in 1996. Before that, I have completed my graduation in commerce. I did Sangeet Visharad in 1995. After that, I was also studying for Sangeet Alankar. Those who are aware, Visharad is quite equivalent to BA and Alankar is quite equivalent to MA. So that's about the educational background.
Yeah, definitely a lot of studies and a variety of fields, finances and Nad yoga again. Because see, we have heard a lot about yoga, we have heard a lot about yogasanas, and Nad yoga is something which is a different terminology, all of it together for me. And is this kind of a new fad, or what's the difference between yoga, yogasanas, and Nad yoga as such?
That's a good question, Prachiti. Um, the definition of yoga is to unite with something. It says yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So when we have to unite with something, yoga is jud jana. So if we have to unite with something, what our mind keeps on doing is it keeps on wandering at places. So the second line of yoga says it's chitta vritti nirodha. So a tendency of mind to wander here and there will stop us from uniting with what we are doing. Another definition of yoga says yoga karmasu kaushalam. That is, whatever work you are doing, you unite with it so much that you become kushal or expert in that. And you start finding your own self in that work itself. But why is it difficult for us? Because the mind keeps on wandering at places. So, what we do in Yogasana is we focus quite a lot on our body postures. We think about perfection. And you must have observed that when we do a yogic posture, if there is no proper concentration, we won't be able to perform that particular asana perfectly. Same is the case with pranayama, where we unite with our own breath. So here in Nada Yoga, what we try to do is we try to focus upon sound. So Nada is sound, yoga is uniting with something. So Nada Yoga is uniting with sound. And it so happened that Nada Yoga has been there since ages. The first mention of Nada Yoga is in Samaveda, where in Samaveda they have mentioned about two types of nadas. One is Ahat Nad and Anahat Nad. Second is Anahat Nad. So this is not a fad yoga. This is a traditional science.
So definitely, this sounds interesting. That through sound you connect with your own body and mind, and you don't allow your mind to wander, so that you find peace within. But then
Right,
you use these terms like ahat, anahat. So what are these terms like? What's the difference, and how did these uh,
right.
come?
When I'm speaking right now to you, I'm using a device which is here, and you are using a device which is in your ears. So when we speak about ahatanad, that is explicit sound. So in ahatanada, we make explicit sounds either with the help of our throat, lips, tongue, a little bit of nose, and we hear with the help of our ears. So these are explicit sounds, ahatanada. Anahatanada, a little difficult to understand. This is a kind of subtle sound, like that there is no friction, you don't see any person speaking, and still you are able to sense a sound. Now that is anahatanada. It's perhaps difficult for us, a common man, to understand, But let me take you to a small story. When we remember, when Krishna was born, there was Akashvani. When Kansa tried to kill, at that time there was Akashvani. And that Akashvani said, "You are killing this baby in a prison, but actually the one who is going to kill you is already has already reached the Gokul." So that is Akashvani. That's an example of Anahat Nad.
Almost beautifully interesting. And I now understand that Nad Yoga is about using these sounds and vibrations to connect with your own body and mind. But then I see a lot of musical instruments around you. And are these also used for the Nad Yoga or some kind of therapies or
Yes,
something?
yes. When we speak about Ahat Nad, it creates a
Okay.
certain kind of frequency. Just let us see this. I don't know whether you will be able to hear this online properly or not. I have a Tibetan ball in my hand.
Yes.
So if you can see,
Hmm.
there are 5 yogis doing meditation there. A mantra is written here, and here you will find Om. Let's make an attempt. I am not aware whether on online platform the sound will come properly or not. Could you hear that?
Yes, audible.
It keeps on making a sound like Om. Perhaps this mic could not catch that particular sound properly. This is just an example. It created a particular frequency, and you got a chance to connect to that frequency. What a musical instrument do is now this guitar is called as a tantu vadya. It has got strings, or this tanpura has also got strings. If you see this tabla, you will find metal here, and uh, dead animal skin here. So each instrument will create different kind of frequency, and that different frequency has a capacity to have a positive impact on our body, and it will make the body cells vibrate as well, and that will be a fine vibration, and it will create a experience of peace within.
So actually very lovely that one more out of the box question that you said that you create positive vibrations and peace. But are there some kinds of sounds which also create negative influences, and how can we protect ourselves from them? Like,
Yes,
does the different sounds? I mean, sounds cannot only create positive. Some might be there which might be creating negative impact. So, kindly brief something about it. Like, I'm curious to know. Like now.
right. So let me just give you an example. So if you use a word which is wrong or abusive, it will create a frequency. It will create that frequency from your throat. My ears will catch that. My mind will interpret that, and I will feel sad or I will feel angry. So this is a example of how sound can create a negative impact on us. So that's the basic of Nad Yoga. When we speak about different dimensions of Nad Yoga, Vani is the first dimension. And what we should do is, at least we should start with such a Vani or such a language and the voice culture, where whatever I speak should create a positive impact on your mind, and you should feel that you want to be connected with me. You don't want to cut off from me. And that is how Nad Yoga, or the basis of Nad Yoga, is on Vani. Another example is some harmful frequencies which could be destructive. I did not want to discuss this particular point on this particular forum, but some attempts have been made of creating some kind of uh, weapons with the help of such destructive sounds. But Nad Yoga doesn't speak about creating weapons. The purpose of Nad Yoga is creating peace creating and bliss creating frequencies in the mind of listeners.
Thank you for the information. Absolutely, we all are curious now to learn more about if sounds are going to help us heal and remain peaceful. So, like, what is the use of this Anahat Nada?
Anahat Nad is a kind of frequency which is there, but our human ears cannot listen to it. A simple example could be a baby which is not even born, could be seen on a screen with the help of ultrasound. This is just one example. So, these are the frequencies which our human ears can't hear. Take the example of a few birds. They have their own, world of frequency, and they keep on speaking with each other. It essentially may not be audible to us. So they catch these waves and they have their own world. The similar case is with the fish or with the sea world. So these frequencies human ears cannot hear. Let me give you another example. We must have read in childhood stories like, say, there is some rishi or muni, and he is sitting in one cave, and there is his disciple, and disciple is in some problem, and disciple is not in the cave, he is somewhere else. And in Anahat Nad, he is taking the name of his guru. Suppose I believe in Akkalkot Swami. So here sitting in Pune, I start taking the name of Swami. And I believe Swami listens to me. And suppose my problem is solved. Then I say, in Anahat Nad, Swami could hear my voice and he sent the help. These are the examples which common man can understand. There is much more to it.
Definitely, this is really getting more interesting. And Dr. Mitali More is there with us, and she is also finding it interesting. So, thank you, Mitali, for your comments.
Thank you.
Also, if you have the audience, if you have any questions, because this is such an interesting topic, so please mention your questions in the comment section. I'll take them at the end of the video. Also, Smita ji, I would like to ask you that, like, why is Nad Yoga a spiritual healing process? Because you call this as a spiritual healing process. Even on our
Right.
phone conversation yesterday, I remember
Right.
you have told me
Yes.
that this is not a therapy, but it is a healing process. So why can't we call it as music therapy?
When we spoke about different dimensions of Nadi Yoga, we spoke about the first one as Vani, second was Shwas or breathing, the third is Sangeet, and from Sangeet comes music therapy. So, under the broad umbrella of Nadi Yoga, one branch is music. And again, music has multiple dimensions, like entertainment is there, again some kind of science is there in music, and we have music therapy also. So music therapy is a branch of Nada Yoga. Music therapy is not complete Nada Yoga. So here what we do is, there are doshas like kapha, vata, pitta, and during different times of the day, these doshas are disturbed, or they are in they should be in balance rather. What music therapy tells us is, there is a concept of samay chakra in music as well. So during 24 hours of the day, we should listen to certain frequencies, or we should sing certain ragas. With the help of these frequencies, what will happen is, we will be in tune with the environment which is changing 24 by 7. So, naturally, what will happen is, music will help us to keep the balance of these doshas. So, that's the concept, basic concept. And there is much more to it when we talk about music therapy.
Definitely, this I think there might be so much more, because after listening to this, now we are keen that how can we use it in our day-to-day lives. Shruti Patore Clarence, thank you so much, because even she is there with us. She's finding it interesting despite today being Good Friday. It's her festive day, but then still she's there with us. Thank you, Shruti, for that. And
Thank you.
this is really so interesting, Smitaji. But then, what about the other common people who do not want a spiritual evolving process? Like there might be some group of people who are interested to evolve spiritually, and then they work for it. But if a person is not interested, and if we send this Nada yoga music to them, then will that help them?
Definitely, and that's a very good question. There are multiple aspects of it. Let me take the first aspect. When we speak about different life skills, we speak about communication skill. And in communication skill, there are certain things like using proper words, then the voice modulation, the pitch, the volume. All these things are a part of Nad Yoga. So if I want to become a good communicator, suppose I am a teacher, and as a teacher, I want to cultivate my voice properly so that on one hand, my voice reaches to the last bench. On the other hand, my voice is not so loud that it becomes irritating for 60 minutes. Now, here Nada Yoga will help me. Suppose I am talking to my kids. There, I want to be a mother who is a kind of loving mother on one hand, but still the kids should get the message that they can't be too much of mischievous with me. So here, what kind of nada should my voice produce? I am talking to my boss. So I am a good subordinate, but still you cannot dominate me too much. We will work in a team, but still don't take me for a ride. So what kind of voice modulation pitch I should have? That is one thing. Another thing is life is full of different kind of tensions. At the same time, life is also full of different kind of sounds. For example, the moment we get up in the morning, we come to hear about the sweet sound of birds chirping somewhere, or say a pressure cooker is making some noise, or there is television, some channel going on in the hall, or a reverse horn of a vehicle of a neighbor. So we are constantly engaged with different kind of sounds, but we are not aware of them. So if we learn how to connect with these sounds and use these sounds to wash away our tensions, now that is something fantastic, isn't it?
Definitely,
Of course,
definitely,
music
and
is there.
yes, this is really fantastic if people can learn. But then, how can we learn it? Like, what's the process of learning this if we want to use it in our day to day lives?
Those who like music can join some tuition class for music, online, offline, who want to sing, who want to play some instrument. That's a great beginning. Second is Omkar Sadhana. Omkar is called as the primordial sound, and it is there everywhere in the world. So it's called as the origin of all sounds. So those who can afford to spare 5 minutes in the morning can start with Omkar Sadhana. I don't advise that we should begin with some kind of mantra, because mantra is also a big part of Nada Yoga. But each mantra will create a particular kind of vibration. And if you are not ready to take that vibration as of now, for whatever reason, that mantra is not your mantra. It will not suit you. Moreover, singing a mantra where you are not sure about the correct pronunciation is of no use. Like instead of saying ka kamal, if I start saying kha kamal, it's of no use. So I will be wasting my time. And therefore, I don't advise that unless and until you have a personal guru, you start Nad Yoga Sadhana with a mantra. A common shloka is okay. Common shloka, which is time tested and we have been singing since ages, is okay for beginning of Nad Sadhana. For a common man, bhajan kirtan is also there, where we connect with that bhajan or kirtan sound, and more we are engaged with it, we start forgetting the surrounding. And we become one with the sound. So these are the common ways of starting with Nada Yoga sadhana. If someone is interested in advanced sadhana, then they have to learn it from a personal guru.
Yeah, that is interesting. But then, as I listened to you, you said that if there is a complex mantra, then or the pronunciation should not be different. This takes me to the question that what are the do's, and there might be some do's and don'ts while you do Nad Yoga, and definitely without a proper guru or proper teachings, one should not go for it. So, please, can you mention some do's and don'ts about it?
Yes. Now, I just showed you this Tibetan bowl. I'm just giving an example to you. If someone is interested and makes a search of Tibetan bowl sound on internet, of course, this is engaging, interesting, a sweet sound. So, if someone who is a beginner keeps on listening to this particular sound throughout the day, it is a don't. Don't do that. First, we have to adjust with that sound. So, listen to that sound for a minute. See how you feel with that. Now, this is also tuned, there are tunings like Kali Char or uh, the C scale, A scale,
This is
correct?
music
So the sound or the frequency that it is creating, is it creating the peaceful experience that you are looking for? Or this is not your sound? When you don't have a personal guru, don't directly go with overnight listening to this sound. That is not advisable. Another thing is, as I said just now, don't pick up a mantra for yourself from internet. Visit a person, talk to them regarding why you are looking for Nada Sadhana, and then they will guide you. Because if a certain mantra will create a lot of heat in your body and you are already suffering from acidity, it will aggravate your problem. So that is not advisable. So here you will require some mantra which will create a experience of a cool kind of experience inside your body. And therefore the first point in do's and don'ts was, don't directly jump to any sadhana without asking someone. Then secondly, when you pick up another sadhana for yourself, start with a minute and see what kind of experience your body is giving to you, and then increase it for 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And for a common man, 5 minutes of practice is okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely useful information. I feel Dr. Mitali is also written absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Mitali. And what
Thank
I
you.
feel, Dr. Smita, is we got to learn a lot about what Nad Yoga is, who can be benefited, what is Ahat, Anahat benefits. And there was a lot of information in today's session. Absolutely, I feel that one more live workshop or session is indeed needed. So, viewers and audience, if you are interested in a live session where I think Dr. Smita and I had spoken on the phone yesterday that it takes almost 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours to get trained and benefited in your own personal life. So, this is interesting because listening to music and being benefited, nothing like it,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, Dr. Smita,
So,
I think I should
Prakriti,
end with the last question.
yes. The last
Uh,
point that I was mentioning was, there is something called as rasa in music. Rasa is kind of mood. So music can also be used as an instant mood changer. So if there is some kind of husband wife jagda and you have a
ah,
ready made raga downloaded on your mobile phone, which will
okay.
guaranteedly take you out of that mood of anger and give you a different peaceful vibe, it will help you as an instant mood changer as well. Same
Oh,
is the
wow.
case with energy booster. You must have heard that army people have a specific song, so which creates that kind of energy and fearlessness in them. So I forgot to mention that, so I'm mentioning it at the end.
Definitely, this is interesting. I think for most of the couples who keep on fighting, they should download this certain kind of music because family is a place where we spend most of our time. Dr. Smita, I can end. I think I should end with the last question that
Yes.
we find a lot of videos on this YouTube channel regarding some voices and listen to these and meditation. So, do you recommend these?
A small piece you can listen to. The point is, don't go in for a long sadhana kind of things through YouTube. That is not advisable. A piece of music for 5 minutes is of course welcome. 10 minutes, yes. But then what happens is, for example, if you have certain ailment in your body, or you have undergone certain surgery, or there is, say, some screw inserted in your body, or a pacemaker, you are not aware what sadhana you should take up. With 5-10 minutes of a piece of music on YouTube, absolutely fine. With classical music, absolutely fine. I am asking not to go to these specific frequencies which they make you listen to, unless you are aware of what frequency you should listen to. So any kind of bhajan or a classical raga, flute, especially flute. So these are beautiful things to listen to.
Yes, definitely. This piece of information is really useful. And can we listen to the Hindi songs then, in that case, where people use this
Of
movie songs and all?
Yes, yes, of course. You can listen to movie songs, any movie song you think about. Just an example. Close your eyes and think about when you had listened to this particular song first time. What kind of mood had it created? So, if you sing a bhajan, again think about how you are feeling. When did you listen to this song? Since childhood, when you are listening to this bhajan, what mood is it creating in you? So, if you include it in your own thought process, you will understand on your own without anybody's help that what song will create what kind of experience in your body.
Thank you, Dr. Smita, for this valuable information about Nada Yoga
Thank you.
and the time that you had spared for all of us today. And I would also like to thank all our viewers, especially Shweta Arora, Dr. Mitali, Shruti Patore. Thank you, everybody, for having here. And thank you, other viewers who are going to listen to this. I'm sure they are going to listen because Nada Yoga is something we all need to know about and we can be benefited by using it in our day to day life. Yes, Mitali has written, we are glad to have you on this platform, madam. We'll look forward to learn more from you. Thank you. So this is the
Yes,
message
thank
that
you,
Dr.
Mitali
Mitali has
madam.
shared with you.
Thank you.
Yes. So with this, I thank you everybody for watching us. Thank you, Dr. Smita. Thank you all the viewers. Yeah, thank you. Shruti Patore has mentioned, totally loved it. So insightful.
Thank you
So
so
yes,
much. Thank you,
yes,
Dr.
thank you,
Prachiti.
everybody. And
And thanks to Skill Connect, thanks to Skillgate for giving me the opportunity. Thank you so much. I look forward to meet you again and again on this platform. Thank you.
definitely, definitely. Skillgate is a platform which is open for all. And here on this platform, we are trying to connect with a lot of healers and inspirational women, with different entrepreneurs, all the women across the globe who are value adding to society. And definitely will stay connected and do a lot more magic in the near future. So, thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
everybody. With this, I end this session. Thank you.
thank you.